Hey everybody, what's up? It is Thursday. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We have a major weather system. I just knocked the globe. We have a major weather system coming through and it's windy as all get out. So there's a chance that I could get blown away, possibly, but I don't think so. We have a lot to cover, as always, and I'm just going to get started right away. I'll say my hellos in just a little bit, but if I don't get going, we won't get finished. Do you know that we are, as of today, this is the Ides of June. I think that's what you'd call it. We're halfway through June anyway, and that means that if you haven't started thinking about your stereo competition submission, you're going to be too late. So the month of June, stereo is the thing we're doing in the competition. This is just to remind you. So get on it. We need your pictures in before the end of the month, and we're going to be judging them the next day. Okay? So just a reminder there. Welcome to everybody, but welcome especially to our 3 newest landowners. These are patriotic pin purchasers that showed up on Tuesday, bought a pin and had it inserted in the place of their choosing. And I thought I would thank them specially by mentioning their choice of place where they live, because that's what I do. And if I'm ever going to get a Z8 of my own, you guys need to purchase some towns. In fact, you need to purchase whole continents, because the globe is largely uncovered by pins, as you will very soon see. So we have 3 new landowners. Thanks to Amy for reminding me of who they were, because of course I forgot. And they're all in North America this week, which that's the pink thing right there. No, that's Canada. It's the orange thing. Well, it's this area. Anyway, first is Dan, and Dan, he got the pink pin right there in a place called Sandpoint, Idaho. It's where the Schweitzer Mountain Ski Resort is. It's got a weirdly specific population of 9,002, 9,003 including Dan. And the Kootenai people, who've obviously never actually been there, mistakenly call it the Kamakan Quickie, which is pronounced come on a quickie. David F. bought Edmonton, Canada, which is where that yellow pin is. And he started a new trend in buying other people's towns, because I think he's from California. At least, what does CA mean? California or Canada? He's from one of those. Anyway, he lives in Alberta, which is a song by Eric Clapton, which is a strange place to live. It has 1 million people and 3 municipal districts. One's named after a fish, the sturgeon, Sturgeon County. There's one that is named after a French game bird. It's called Le Duc. There's a lot of French people live up there. The third person who bought a place was Amy, who was trying to buy Cambridge, Massachusetts, and bought Cambridge, Minnesota by mistake. It's only got the same 9,000 people that live in Dan's place live down there. And yeah, they have exactly the same number of people, but no ski resort. 3 days a week they have a train go through there. It's called the Hinckley subdivision. That's the most famous thing about it. Could have done better, Amy. You had me. I would have given you any country you wanted for your pin. So get a pin and tell me where to put it, and I'll tell you all about your place of residence. Seriously, if we don't sell a lot of pins, I am never going to own one of these. Probably never going to own one of those anyway, but that's what we're talking about today. We're going to be carrying on, picking up from where we left off on Tuesday. Things got a bit odd on Tuesday, and I wasn't quite sure where to go with it. So I've thought about it and decided on where we're going to go with it, and that's what we'll talk about in just a bit. Before we do, I was going to tell you about the live stream I had scheduled for today was actually going to be me talking about the new version of the Cage project, which is a thing I did 4 years ago when I published a lot of photographs of people's rigs. Now, we've come a long way, and there are a lot of spectacular rigs that you folks have built, and I want to start that back up again, but I'm looking for a volunteer, somebody who will curate it, somebody who will help me gather the information, write the articles, post them, and just build this thing. Probably do it as a separate website. But if anybody's interested in working, actually working for nothing, yeah, this is a wonderful opportunity. You won't get a better opportunity to work for nothing than to work with me. Let's go over to the project table for just a minute, just so that I can show you a couple of things that are going on. I need to grab something, this thing, to show you. Oh, I just dropped it, and it rolled under my desk. Just chat amongst yourselves, because I've got to get this back. It's my visual aid. All right, let's go over to the project table and look at my 3D printer. So it's finished, and as you can see, it works because I printed that. You see that? It says Prusa. Couldn't get it to say walls, but it's better than nothing. And I printed this. It doesn't look like much, does it? It just looks like a ring of plastic. This is a captive gear thing. It's got 7 gears in it that all turn within this ring, and they printed it this way. Tell me that isn't amazing. And I did the whole thing on this in 4 hours. Brilliant, brilliant. So yeah, we're off to the races. From now on, I've just got to learn how to, design things and what have you, but the printing part's working beautifully. So this is all thanks to Jan Nelson. Thank you, Jan. Jan, this was a blast to build. Don't be afraid of it. If you're thinking of getting one and want to save a couple of $100, get the kit. I'll help you with it. It's not that complicated. In fact, it's pretty straightforward. Just allow enough time. If you're going to do that, allow enough time. Don't rush it. We're going to talk about several things, but there are a couple of potential topics that we might be talking about. One of them is a Telecentric lens DIY that I talked about last week, very briefly. If you want to talk about telecentric lenses and learn how to make one of your own with the stuff you've already got on your shelf, then what you need to do is put a note in the chat. And I did not see, and I cannot read from here, who is in chat as far as moderation goes. I'm sure that Bud or Amy is there. Bud or Amy, if you could count up the votes. We need 2 more votes to talk about telecentric lenses, and I'll do a whole show on that, and I'll show you how to build it, test it, and use it as a parallax beta. The other thing I'm thinking about doing, but I need 3 votes to do it, is I want to talk to you about LCD projectors. This morning I'm going to show you how to make one, or this evening I'm going to show you how to make one. Very simple, only a few steps. And then if there's enough votes, I want to talk to you about the bizarre optical path that these things use, the way that a projector produces an image on a screen. I want to show you how that happens with the light. But as far as building one goes, you just need a plastic case like this, which you could 3D print. You need some circuit boards with things on them. 3 of them is usually enough. And then you'll need a power supply, big heavy power supply like that. Put that in the case as well. Lots of nuts, bolts, screws, loads of them. And then fans. You need fans of every size that they make, 1 of each, including little tiny ones. Okay? And then you need a very bright light bulb like that. Okay? Put that all together, screw it all together with the screws, and then string about 1 mile of wire around it and put a loudspeaker in the back. And that's it. That's how you build it. You can put a handle on it if you want to carry it. Otherwise, leave that off. The most interesting part, though, is this part. And this is the part that I want to talk about. Now, as you know how to make one, this is incredible. And there is so much to learn about light and optics and lenses, and the way that the bulb shines through here and the light is split up into wavelength components, and then it's recombined by a prism as the light of different colors shines through these tiny LCD screens to produce a full spectrum colored picture focused on a screen across the room. I took one of these apart a couple of years ago and was just amazed at how much I learned in taking it apart. When I found another one that they were throwing away, I took it apart to get this piece out. This time I didn't break anything getting it out. So what I want to do is take it apart and show you how the light is processed, how the different mirrors and lenses are used to split out various wavelengths and result in this very impressive combined picture that you get. If there are 3 votes, I'll do that. Otherwise, I'll just take it apart and make a video of it that nobody will watch. But if you want to do that, let me know. That's all I have on the project table for today, except for I found something else at the thrift shop. I read an article saying you need to have glue sticks if you're going to be doing 3D printing. So I found a box. They had 6 jumbo glue sticks. Will that be enough? I hope so. But let's go back to the desk. You want to see what the desk looks like when I'm not there? You can't, because my little pointer won't go that high. I've done something. Yeah, I'm not going to risk that. I'll just do it from over here. Okay. I don't know what I've done here. Just look at the table for a second, guys. There's a bizarre thing going on where one of my scenes is stuck to the end of my pointer, and I have no idea how to get it off. Nope. Does anybody know? I just figured it out. No, I didn't. Okay, well, this is interesting. I have That was the most interesting thing. What happened was my my pointer got stuck on the other computer. I'm trying to use 2 computers so that I can operate OBS from over there as well. And the pointer got stuck, and the scene was stuck to the end of the pointer, and I couldn't get it off. I got it off eventually. So what do you think? 3 votes for the light path through the LCD projector would be an interesting thing to talk about if you want to. 3 votes. And I need 2 more votes if we're going to talk about building a telecentric lens with just whatever macro lens you happen to have lying around. So today, the main feature, what we need to talk about, is the camera that now, you know what? None of my scenes are working. I'm going to go over there and turn that pointer off. Hang on. I think this is the culprit. I think it's hijacked my pointer here. Let me see. Try that again. There we go. All right, that's better. That seemed like a good idea, and when I was testing it, it worked perfectly, but yeah, not so much in real life. So this is what we're talking about today. The venerable Z8. I have the flashes on there to remind you that is it next week? Yeah, next Thursday we're going to be talking about the R1C1, the flash system from Nikon, which is stunning, and we're going to be comparing it to the Godox system, the MF12s that I use. So we'll leave that on there for now, but on Tuesday we're going to be focusing on the lens. In this case, it's the MC105 f2.8 VRS, the top of the line macro lens from Nikon, and that will be the subject on Tuesday. There's been a lot written about that lens, and I'm going to look forward to talking about it. I've been using it a lot. But today I want to talk about the camera, and I want to follow up on some things that we said on Tuesday. I'll tell you what it is so that you can be writing your message, and then I'm going to run up here to the comments and messages and see what is what, who's saying what. But the purpose today is going to be to flesh out and find out what you guys were talking about, who were saying things like, yeah, it's okay. The Z8's an okay camera, but it's not as good as my blank. Fill in the blank. Whatever your camera of choice is, whatever you were thinking was actually a better top of the line camera body than the Z8. I genuinely want to know, what is it, or what was it about your camera or about the Z8 that made you think that your camera was a better camera? I spent the morning reading the tech specs, Nikon specs, from start to finish. And I was looking also at the specs of every other camera out there in this class. And I was actually coming up empty-handed as to what it is precisely that makes your camera, the one that you were talking about, whatever that was, a better camera. So I'd love to know, because I'm not in this range of cameras. The D850 is the fanciest camera I ever bought, and it was a huge purchase for me, but I needed it for the channel. I'll probably end up getting a Z8 one day, but I'm not generally shopping around for super expensive cameras. So this is an unfamiliar place for me, and I'll be the first to admit it. But I would very much like to know from you guys who have been shooting with other cameras, especially Fuji's, Sony's, Canon's, the high-end cameras. What is it that attracted you to that camera, and what is it that you see when you look at the Z8 that makes you think, oh, I wouldn't want that, or that's not gonna suit me? Genuinely interested to know. I'm not here to pick any fights or anything. I just want to know what it is about your camera. Make an argument for your camera over this one, because I can't see it yet, and I'd like to. All right. Time to go to the messages, because, oh my goodness, there is Grandma Dragos just tossed in 20 RONs. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Grandma. Now, where do you want your pin? Bucharest. Bucharest it is. I haven't seen Amy, or I haven't seen Bud, so I'm going to have to write this down, so bear with me. Bucharest. 20 RONs for Grandma, and yeah, that's it. Okay. Let's see, who else? Patrick, you can't keep buying Switzerland. You already have. You have 2 pins in Switzerland. It will only hold 3 more. So we'll still put you down for it. Switzerland again, Patrick. 20 CHFs. Brilliant. I'm getting closer, and can't you just hear me getting closer to that camera? Alistair, £5 for... Alistair, you can pick a district for that. Thank you very much indeed. Questions. The more projects, the better, no matter what they be. On Baconmeister, I agree with that sentiment. I just think these things are all so interesting, and they all tie in. They're all, at the end of the day, it's all about light. And the more we understand about dichroic mirrors and weird lenses and what have you, the more it'll help our photography. Somehow, I know it will. Okay, let me see. Ingolf, welcome, my friend. I'm glad you made it. You were the first one in today. Now, Hannah Manenenenki asked me, can someone explain why my Shanghai 8mm fisheye lens can't focus when I use macro tubes between the lens and the D7500 body? Yes, I can. At 8mm, it is highly unlikely that you will own an extension tube short enough to allow you to form an image at that distance. When I use fisheye lenses, or when I use wide-angle lenses to do wide-angle macro, I have to use very, very short extension tubes, 5-8 millimeters. Anything more than that, and the image isn't going to form on the sensor, and that's the problem. You either need to go with a slightly longer lens, or a very much shorter extension tube. Try that. The wider your lens, the harder wide-angle macro is, and the closer you are to the subject, eventually you'll find that your subject's inside your lens. That's the problem, is your working distance gets so short that the subject that you're shooting needs to be inside the lens for you to get it on the sensor, and that's physically impossible. So longer lens, less extension. Okay, let me see. I hope that helps. Larry, greetings, and I accept your offer to help me figure out the code on that thing, but I'll try it myself first, as promised. And you're not my nephew. I'm not your nephew, Grandma. You're my grandmother, so I'm your grandson. That's what it is. But good try. Hembrodian's here from the north of England. Welcome, my friend. And Vivian from Ireland. Vivian owns Ireland, so it's his country. And that was me saying I'd explain, and I did. Good for my word there. Laura's here. Greetings, Laura. I hope you're doing well. We're having a pre-hurricane thing down here today, a celebration. The wind blew my trash can away again. They brought it back again. Wonderful neighbours. Wonderful neighbours. Okay, let me see. Who else has dropped in today? Nils is here from Norway, where it's summer. Stuart Wood is here from the UK, where it is always sunny. Greetings, Stuart. Glad you could make it. And Case is here from the Netherlands, 27 degrees Celsius. What is that in English? Is it warm? You say insects, thumbs up, okay sign. So I guess that means the insects come out at 27 degrees. They stay out here. Lance is here. Greetings from the Midlands. Robert from Illinois. Walter knows 3 of the authors of the Tiger Beetle book that Susan gave me to read. This is the Tiger Beetles of the Southeastern United States by Giff, Stephen, and Brian. Which ones do you know? I'm guessing you know Giff and Brian. And yes, I'd love an introduction, because anybody that likes tiger beetles, I automatically will like, and maybe they'll come on the program and talk to me about tiger beetles. They are fascinating. And this book, if you live anywhere near the Southeast, you need this book. There is a link in the show description. Buy it. You'll be glad you did. The pictures are fantastic. Lots of information. It tells me why I've never seen one down here. It's because I've always gone to the wrong places. And it explains exactly where I need to go to find them. So there you go. Great book. And I'd love to meet them. All right. So we were down to Jim, who's up in Washington, and says hi. Susan, I'm still taking very good care of your camera, though I am kind of wearing the batteries out a little bit. Yeah, using it all day and all night. It's fantastic. What a great camera. And thank you. Susan lent me this camera, by the way, as well as the R1C1, as well as the 105 macro lens. And it is something to behold. All right, where were we? We were saying hi to Baconmeister and David Brown from Winthrop, Maine, where it's in the 70s, which is unusually warm, I would take it. Graham's here from the UK. Graham in Chertsey is the main reason that I have decided to breathe fresh life into the macro project, the cage project, because he has so many novel and creative ideas that, it's just a great forum for us all to discuss those things. So we'll talk about that more next week. Ralph, greetings, and let me see. Phil's here from Cambria. He owns Cambria. He owns that whole middle bit of California, actually. pretty good unless somebody buys part of it out from under him. Borderland Peppers is here. Borderland, I'm waiting on your comments because I want to know. I read about your camera, the I'll find it here in a second. The H2S you said you had, right? I read about it and it looks like a fantastic camera, but I want to know what exactly is it about that camera that makes it the one. It's an APS-C camera, right? Small sensor. Want to know. Ulrich is here from a cold Pretoria, South Africa. That doesn't sound possible. Isn't it like on the equator? No, it's south of the equator. Well, I'm sorry to hear it's cold. I thought it was always hot there. Mike is here from Phoenix. Alistair's here from the north of England or the south of Scotland or both. Robert is here from Ocala, Florida, even though he is going to soon have to move to Miami because his pin had to be moved. And I think that's everybody. Harold from Norway as well. Anna Nanu, that's a new name to me. Greetings from Greece. Excellent. Nice to have you with us. You know, Greece is still available. I think that entire country could be purchased for a pin. Yeah. Your closest ally is going to be Romania. So right now, Greece is wide open. You should think about a pin. Let me see. I think we've got everybody covered. So let's see if there are... no, we missed Brad G, who's in Gulfport. Gulfport, Mississippi? Isn't that just near me somewhere? A state or two away? Welcome. Yeah, I like that. That's a good picture of you, Grandma. You don't look at all like I had you pictured. Very nice. All right. Yes, I'll tell you what. That a pin on Bucharest, and I'll remember that when I'm signing up for my Z8. Arthur Wagner, greetings. Glad you made it. And I think we've covered everybody. Patrick is here. Excellent. Good to see you, Patrick. Still don't have your address though. I am going to put that box I'm going to write Switzerland on it and cross my fingers. Alrighty, let me see. The more projects, the better. We already heard that, and I am absolutely with you on that. Let me see. Joseph is here from Australia. Hey, Joseph, I haven't spoken to you in a while. It's good to see your name again. Welcome. Ray Martinez, Sony, Alpha 1. Why? Why is that the best camera? What is it about the A1? There's lots about it, I know, but what's the thing that attracted you to that camera? And what do you think about the Z8? Have you read about it? I think everybody who owns an expensive camera like this reads about the competition. I know I did when I bought the D850. Okay, now we're starting to see some camera comments, so let me pay a bit of attention to these. We've got several people who are voting for telecentric lenses, so that we are going to cover that. It is complicated, and I tried last night when I was at my weekly session with the boss, with Rick Littlefield. I brought the subject up and I asked him if he would come by the live stream to answer some of these questions that will come up. And he said, no, heck no, or something like that. I couldn't get him to promise. But either way, I got him to talk to me about it again. So we'll do that in a week or so. It'll be fun. Okay, so David Brown, I've forgotten today's technical difficulty. Have I? What was it? I don't remember. Seriously, what oh, the pointer thing. Yeah, that was irritating, but hey, it's not bad compared to my other technical difficulties. At least I'm on the air, I hope. I seriously hope. If I've been talking to myself this long, I'll quit. Okay, so let me see. A telecentric project may be very important in some cases. It is. I mean, there are times, if you're doing stacking and stitching in particular, that having parallax just ruins the picture. You can't stack and stitch if you're dealing with parallax. unless you're going to do some very tedious work to match up the images. If you're shooting with a telecentric lens, then you don't have to worry about that, because there is no perspective. It's perspective-free photography. So the edges line up in the stitched sections. But making the lens, a telecentric lens, like I told you last time, is a lens that has the exit pupil moved back towards the camera at the focal length of the lens you're using to make it telecentric. So you're at infinity, basically. The exit pupil is focused at infinity from the front, which means that you can move the camera without changing the perspective. It appears the camera thinks that it hasn't moved in relation to the depth. Yeah, it's complicated stuff. I'll have to do drawings. I showed on Tuesday my drawing thing. It's too far away for me to reach, but I've got a lit drawing thing that I'll use to make pictures so we can all understand it. Okay, telecentric lenses are expensive. They are expensive because, they're complicated, but you can make one with a diopter and a lens, if you have the right focal length lens and the right focal length diopter. And that is very hit and miss. You have to actually test it and see whether or not you can get it to telecentric. I happened to find that this lens, which Robert gave me, this is an internal focusing Tokina 100 millimeter lens, macro lens, that just happens to focus at infinity on the exit pupil of the lens with a DCR 250 on the front in the normal orientation. That's all it took. It just was pure luck. But that made it telecentric, and other lenses will do that too. Rick actually uses a Canon 100 millimeter lens with a DCR 250, and he has to put it a little in front of the lens. But it's amazing, and you can change the magnification and still keep the telecentrism. So we will talk about it. It's interesting. So it's like PC users and Mac users. You either are a PC or a Mac person. I have a Nikon, been using it for 50 years. Nothing to say, really. Well, no, I think there is. I think there is something to say. I mean, lots of people change brands, and brand loyalty is part of the whole photography thing, the culture of it. I'm a Nikon person. I don't have really much of anything that isn't Nikon. Well, lenses, I suppose. But I like it, and I think it's great for what I do. And I think they have they have a sympathetic ear for the things that macro photographers want. So I think that brand loyalty is good. But if a camera came out that was streets ahead of anything that I've seen from Nikon, I would probably switch. There's another thing though. As macro photographers, is the camera that important? And we've talked about this already in relation to the Z8. The camera body is probably the least important piece of equipment that we have, or it seemed that way to me for the longest time. I use relatively inexpensive, simple APS-C cameras for most of my macro, because it's all about the optics. It's all about the setup and the vibration control and the lighting. The camera is a support system for the sensor. Well, I don't feel that way, having been out in unshootable conditions with this camera for a couple of days, because it has really changed the way I look at the field macro. The D850 was my field macro camera, but I would pick this over the D850 any day of the week. It is much more capable in poor light situations and motion, and the video capacity. I haven't even talked about the video on this camera. I read a lot about it before I even tried using it, and the capabilities of this are pretty much the same as the Z9. It doesn't actually meet the specs that they list. It does overheat and cut off before it gets to the 2-hour mark or whatever the specs say it can do at full resolution. But it's still as good as, at least as good as the D850. So it's wonderful. So it's more than just brand loyalty, I think, for me anyway. Let me see. So Patrick is using the R7, and it's certainly not top notch, but it fit the budget. Okay, buying the camera that fits the budget is a foregone conclusion. You're going to do that, but I mean, every camera brand has a camera that will fit most budgets. I mean, it might not be the R3 or the R5 or the R7 or the whatever the entry level one is. It's the same with Nikon. The D9, the D8, the Z9, Z8, Z7, Z6, and they're all different price points and they're all different capabilities. But we're talking specifically today, and what I want to learn about is the people who specifically said in this price range, in this range of features, that they had a preference for a different camera because their camera could do A, B, and C that this couldn't do. And I just don't know what those A, B's, and C's are. One of them was frame rate. Somebody told me that the what was it? The burst mode would shoot something like 30 frames per second raw, and that is amazing. That's faster than this. This is 20 frames per second in RAW. I can't. That was the what was it? The GHS camera. I can't remember, but I've got it in my notes. I'd love to know more about that. When does it buffer? How many pictures can you take? I mean, is it that much better? And if so, how? And what other compromises are there? Let me see. So Ray has voted for the Sony A1, and Emily's here, which it just was, by the way. Emily's here from Oregon, and she already has a Z8 and loves it. Okay, so you're on my side. Yeah, I don't see what there is not to love. Lance uses the OMD, the EM1 Mark II. And you like it for focus bracketing and focus stacking. Okay, this camera does focus bracketing. It doesn't do in-camera stacking. The OMD does, doesn't it? So you'll take a stack of images with that camera and it will put into memory one frame that's the stacked image. Is that correct? I think that is what my friend, I have a friend round the corner who has that same camera. That is interesting. I don't know that I would want to give up the control over the processing of the pictures, because I think that's an important part of it. But I think for casual stacking, that could be a sticking point. If it was something that you used a lot, yeah, this camera doesn't have it. Interesting. Good point. Phil A says the Canon R5. In the Canon system, multi-thousands of dollars in lenses. He knows the system, takes decent pictures, not changing systems anytime soon. It's the best for me. Yeah, granted, and that is not a trivial point, that you've got thousands of dollars in lenses. I think anybody who shoots with a system for any period of time is making a huge investment in glass. Susan also lent me the FTZ adapter, so that I could put my glass on this camera, and I don't really like using it. I don't know why, but yeah, it's a workaround, definitely. And if I was to switch systems, I'm not sure I would have any interest in trying to adapt them, even though you can, use adapters that take you across brand lines. I would probably want the native glass because it is really tuned for that camera. So I can see if you're invested with Canon or Nikon, there is certainly plenty of impetus not to change. But again, it begs the question: why Canon in the first place? What was it that attracted you? I know for me, it was a friend of mine was a Nikon shooter, and I just asked him one day to tell me what the best entry-level DSLR, this was 20 years ago, would be, and he suggested a camera, and I tried it and I liked it, and that's how I got in this rut. Okay, Dragos, argument for my camera. He has the Sony A6400, nice camera. The Z8 would be too much of a stretch, and add the lenses. Yeah, I know. It's a huge expense. I mean, it's a $4,000 camera with a $1,000 lens, a $1,400 flash, and that's before you do anything else. That's before you buy a battery, and I gosh knows what the batteries cost these days. The memory cards are expensive, so yeah, it's a huge expense. I'm not in any way suggesting that there's that there's anything negative about not having a fancy camera. I mean, this is such an unusual experience for me to have it in my hands. I'm just trying to see what other people's decision-making processes were like. But yeah, definitely, I have several friends who use your Sony and love it, swear by it, and that's good. Did I skip over somebody? No, I don't think so. Oh, the explanation on the short distance fisheye lens. Yes, yeah, it's wonderful fun to get out there with a wide angle lens and shoot the kind of interesting pictures you can take with a tiny bit of extension. But it takes an enormous amount of practice. When I teach people how to do that, the first session is spent indoors, where you can sit down and explain the theory a bit and do some practice where you're not battling with nature and worrying about exposure and all that other stuff. You can even use a tripod. I've got some pictures. I wouldn't know how to put my hands on them right now. I never made the video, but I've got pictures of wide-angle macro theory where I was using some props that I built in the studio, which was a long ruler with some screws in it, to show you just how the perspective is warped using these lenses, to where the first screw is this big and it fills most of the frame, and the second screw, which is only an inch away, is tiny. And if you get used to it indoors, you'll have a lot more fun with it outdoors. You won't be as frustrated. Okay, great. And Ron's here from Toronto. Greetings. Do you want to buy Toronto, by the way? It doesn't have a pin in it, so just mentioning that. And Giff and Steve. So I was wrong. I said Giff and Brian. Do you want me to introduce you to Brian? I'd love to meet them. And if they're fans of Tiger Beetles, maybe we can talk to them on the show sometime. Seven Think I. I'm afraid I don't understand your name from the Netherlands, sir, or madam, but it's interesting. Seven Hink One? No idea. It's probably lost in translation a little bit. Harold asks the question, I'd like to give you a challenge. You always have fun with the late short summer up north. Right. Have another flower competition in the autumn, making us able to participate. Absolutely. You cannot say that I have not done everything I can to make this channel accessible to anybody who wants to participate. And this is exactly the kind of thing I was asking for when I asked people last week, and I'm going to ask again today, to shoot me an email and tell me what I can do to improve, to make it better for you guys. And having another flower competition would suit me down to the ground. It was great this time. Angie was fantastic to work with, and I bet if we did it in the fall, she might be willing to come back and do it again. Don't know that for a fact. Certainly haven't asked her, but I can promise you this. We will do another flower competition for the northern climes. What month would be best? October? I think by October we'll be ready to do more flowers. So let me know the best month, and I will go ahead and get it on the schedule right this minute. I mean, I put the stereo thing on the schedule back in January, so yeah, we can plan in advance. So thank you for the recommendation and suggestion. We'll definitely do it. Let me see. That was a challenge. That was an easy challenge. I thought it was going to be difficult. Yeah, I was dreading that. Okay, Michael Wallace, greetings from New Zealand. Greetings. That's my number one place on my bucket list to go with a camera. I want to go to New Zealand. There are more beautiful places in that country. Which is prettier, the North or the South Island? North Island, right? Don't know. Love to go there one day. And it's raining. I'd still love to go there. You can't put me off that easily. Okay, so Toluca's here from Rooster Poot. I don't know where Rooster Poot is, and I'm betting it's not real. But yeah, I'll have to look it up. It sounds disgusting. A proud liberal, $20. He wants a gold pin atop the North Pole. Well, you got it. I don't think I have a gold pin. I have to paint those individually. Yeah, I'm checking my pin stash, which is like, no gold pins. I'm going to show you because I'm going to put a holding pin in there, and I'll change it to gold after the thing. But I did promise last time I would demonstrate how the pins are placed, so you understand that you're getting your money's worth from the pin, because they're very difficult and potentially dangerous. I need my drill. This is the drill you need to use. It's a globe drilling drill. Uh-oh. What part of the North Pole do you want? Because it's covered by a bit of plastic. Do you want to be right on the North Pole where the flag is? Well, it's right there. I could, how about there? Yeah, we'll do it there. This will take a while because this drill isn't very sharp. Okay, plan B. I just broke it. I break a drill almost every time I do this. So you'll get your pin and it will be gold and it will be in the North Pole. It just won't be live. So congratulations. So let me see. Proud liberal. Let me write that down or I'll forget. Proud liberal, North Pole, gold. See, everybody else is thinking, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I do that? Well, you can have Namibia or Chad. The Congo is open too. You're going to run out of nice places. A crispy beer. Crispy bee. Sorry about that. Welcome everybody. Sorry you're late. You didn't miss anything. Or did you? I don't know. You can watch this thing. You know it's recorded. YouTube records it, and then you can watch it back again. Why anybody would want to watch it again, I don't know, but you can if you missed a part. Let me see. Where are we? We're down at Anna, who says, great news, and then I moved the thing and it disappeared. So I don't know what the news was. I'm having to go all the way back on there. There it is. Oh, that's your lens, Anna, the 100mm internal focus used on the Sony A7 V. A7R5? That's a nice camera. Yeah, it's a beautiful lens. It's really sharp, and if you have a DCR 250, which is $62 on Amazon, I'll link the DCR the diopter there. It's a very inexpensive lens, but it will be telecentric with this because of its internal focusing. Great, that's good news. If you change the magnification via internal element movements, won't that require repositioning the Raynox? No, it does not. It does not, because what you would think that it would, but it doesn't, and I don't know why. But it actually, you can change the magnification, not a whole lot. What is happening is when you move the internal elements. Here's the problem. When you move the internal elements to move the exit pupil to infinity, you leave that there. If you want to change the magnification, you move the whole system away from the camera or towards it to lessen the magnification. That's what I meant to say. I mean that the internal focusing allows you to position the exit pupil at the focal length of the Raynox. Then you leave it there. And then the whole system you move with extension tubes, basically, or a bellows. And you can increase and decrease the magnification while remaining telecentric. That's what I meant to say. If I didn't say that, my apologies. But the key is, you find the point at which the exit pupil is at an apparent distance of the focal length of the Raynox, and that is when you're telecentric. That was confusing, I know, I'm sorry, my bad. But it is 1 to 2. Well, it is, Anna, but you can make it once you're. It doesn't matter what the magnification is. You can still pull the camera away from the sensor and get a bigger magnification that way. More magnification that way. Sorry, I don't know what's happened to my English today. It's because I opened a can of coffee and I've only drunk one sip of it before I had to start talking, and there you go. So I'm falling asleep is what it is. Stephen Kershaw is here. The stack in camera is JPEG. Are you talking about the... oh, hang on, I skipped a message. So Lance and Crispy B are chatting. That's what it is. Robert, the Fuji GFX 100S with a 120 macro lens is amazing. You know, I believe you. The GFX is an amazing camera. I have not used it. That's a 100mm equivalent, right, on a full frame. That's a big camera. I've not had a chance to use it. I would love to one day. I've never seen a Hasselblad in real life either. Does anybody have a Hasselblad X2D? I think it is 100C. I wondered if they're any good. They look fantastic as well. And that's what Crispy B has too. Superb sharpness. But it's only half X without tubes, 1 to 2 without tubes. You know, the whole thing of 1 to 1. It has never bothered me using I find it harder to use a 2 to 1 lens like some of the Leica lenses, as far as composing, because I'm used to 1 to 1 than I would if I was using a 1 to 2. It does make composing easier, and with a camera like that you can crop and crop and crop till the cows come home, shouldn't make that big of a difference. Yeah, I would love to see that one day, that camera up close. I hear it's fantastic. Harold uses the D5 and a Z9. Likes the larger size bodies. Yep, I do too. And you think they're better to use handheld. Yes, the D7, the D850 has been my handheld camera in the field ever since I got it. I wouldn't use anything else. But what amazed me was this camera without the flashes on, just the lens and the camera, I closed my eyes and held this camera, I would almost think it was the D850 as far as the balance, the grip size and everything. It's perfect for me. I did have an opportunity to shoot this summer with the R3, and that was amazing. That is a true monster camera, and I can certainly see how that would appeal to a Canon shooter. It's so capable, and it's such a beautifully made camera. I have not actually had my sweaty paws on a Z9, and would love to compare them side by side. The 8 and the 9, apparently they're very, very similar, except for a few connections and what's the other thing? Battery life, of course. Yeah, the big camera takes 2 batteries, and this just takes the 1. Let me see what else. Larry, I think it matters a lot depending on whether you're depending on your camera to make a living. Well, yes, I depend on mine to make a living, and I don't make a living, so maybe that is a reason to switch to Canon or a cell phone. I don't know. Good point, though. Yeah, if you're making a living with a camera, you really need to get the camera that does it. We're talking about macro here, and I think that's part of the reason this question came into my mind and what I wanted to get answered was, I understand why the Z9 would be the camera if you're a press photographer, if you're doing people photography, and why the Z7 II may be a better landscape camera. Like Thomas Heaton prefers that camera to using the Z8. And so on and so on. It depends what you're using it for, and if you're making a living doing that, you cannot compromise. In macro, I'm just not sure where the line is, and I would have told you before getting this camera in hand that having a full frame camera with this high frame rate and the incredible light handling in low light situations wouldn't make a difference to me, and it did make a difference to me. So it's very much what tool do you need, and then get the best you can afford. There is a lot of stuff this camera does that I would never do, that I would never use, and that is one of the reasons that there are 3 cameras that are in the running. When I trade up to a full frame mirrorless camera, which I'm going to have to do, it's either going to be the Z9, the Z8, or the Z7 II. And the reason the 7 II is in there is because I wouldn't be spending the $1,000 extra or more on a lot of features that I wouldn't use. But who knows? The video thing throws everything off, because of course I make a lot of video and I want the best video that I can get. Oh, it's all very confusing. I was hoping that I'd get some clarity from you guys. Well, I am, I suppose. I don't think I've missed anybody's questions. Ralph comes back. It's not about brand loyalty. In today's world, it's highly unlikely that any camera company will. Yeah. Okay. Yep. I get your point. And I don't mean loyalty to the brand Nikon as much as familiarity and comfort with the product that company makes. My brand loyalty is not, I wouldn't blindly just buy a Nikon camera because it was a Nikon camera. I'd buy it if it had the features that I needed. And if other cameras by other brands also had those features, I'd be more likely to get the one I'm used to. And that's what I mean by brand loyalty. But I think we're talking about the same thing. Baconmeister uses Canon because he started with a Canon 20 plus years ago, and it's too expensive to change. Yeah, it is. You have a 500mm prime lens. Yeah, that makes you stay with the same brand forever. John McVoy just joined from Yorkshire. Welcome. Glad you're here. And Emily, a flower competition would be great. Well, you just missed one. We had a fantastic flower competition. Somebody won it. We don't know who they are. It's someone with a Sony is what they're called, but I haven't been able to get him to contact me to get his prize. But yeah, we're going to do another one. It was just requested today, so in the fall. Did you tell me which month? I'm sure somebody did, but yeah, remind me what month would be best for the northern climes. October, November. That's probably already knee deep in snow by then. Just let me know. Let me see. Dimitris is here, a second person from Greece, and still nobody's bought Greece in all this time since I mentioned that half an hour ago. Oh dear, Rooster Poot is a real place near Podunk. Okay, well, I will get the drill ready, and as soon as you buy the pin, it'll go right in the Podunk. All right, just clip the pin off and glue the top. Well, I can't, because the hole in the top is going to be what I hang this from, because I'm going to find a permanent home for the globe. I'm also going to get a big map of the world so that you can actually get individual towns purchased, because yeah, the whole globe will be full of pins before you know it. All right, let me see. David's here from, he was late, from Edmonton, Alberta. We've already talked about your town at great length and you missed it. But yeah, congratulations on owning it. The problem with the 120mm Fuji, says Crispy B, is that it's on a big sensor, more than 4 times the APS-C area. Right. So lower magnification is much more noticeable. Other than that, it's extremely sharp. Well, that's the trade-off of a medium format camera, really, isn't it? Having these massive sensors, but they are sharp. I mean, to me, it just means more freedom to compose in a bigger field. I guess you do a lot of cropping, but I'd love to see that camera up close. Michael McKay just joined from Mosier, Oregon, and the Z8 might finally motivate a switch from DSLRs, D800, D750, D850 to mirrorless. Michael, that is exactly the comment that I made the other day on Tuesday. I said the same thing. I said that I've been pretty uninterested in switching. I have one mirrorless camera. It's actually quite a decent camera, I'm surprised to say. That's the picture from it through a Nikon lens, a tilt shift 50mm lens. It's my Fuji X-T2, and it's not bad. I use it for the microscope, but this camera, the Z8 right here, is what is probably going to tip the balance for me. I'm going to have to get a good mirrorless camera and join the rest of the world. It is something to behold. So you and I will probably be lined up at the shop at the same time. And I know you shoot a D850. Oh yeah, you say you do right there. Good. Wait until you start doing deep stacking. 45 megapixels. Well, I've been doing that. In fact, I've been testing some lenses from a Chinese company that will be coming out very soon. And I have taken thousands and thousands of pictures at 45 megapixels on my D850 in order to test the lenses as well as possible. And yeah, it's massive. I had to buy an 8 terabyte drive just to handle the overflow images before I could get rid of the stacks. So yeah, I hear you, and it's just going to get worse. Can you imagine if you were a macro photographer shooting high magnification with a Hasselblad H6? I mean that's 100 megapixels a shot, and some of these stacks I did were 900, 1,000 shots deep. That is nuts. They're going to have to come up with a better science for storage. Anyway, good point. With camera opinions, I'm experienced mostly in Nikon and Canon, but both are tops in options and quality. Olympus, while sporting a smaller sensor, offers in-camera stacking, and that's a significant positive. Yeah, it sure is. I mean, I've never actually shot with a Micro Four Thirds camera. I'm not crazy about it, but I know that people who use them are and think they're fantastic. And some of the lenses they have for those cameras are great too. Nobody's mentioned Lumix, which surprised me because they've showed up several articles I've read about the better flagship cameras. David bought an R7 and has everything he wants. 32 megapixels, focus bracketing, lightweight, and fit well in the budget. That's what you can't ask for more. The R7 is the camera Rick Littlefield uses in the studio. And yeah, that says quite a bit. Late October is fine. Consider it done. October will be the next flower competition. And I'll come up with something unusual for flowers. It'll be flowers, but of a specific type maybe. Green flowers or blue flowers. Yeah, let me think about it. October, flowers. And I will get in touch with my co-judge and see if she wants to do it again. She might not want to. It wore her out. It's hard work. So we'll do that. If the camera feels right for you, then go for it. The best camera is the one you like to work with. Even if you have multiple cameras, multiple subjects, multiple uses. Couldn't agree more. It's like a piece of sporting equipment. It's the one that you have the confidence in that you need. It doesn't matter what the brand is. I honestly cannot think of any feature that I would want on a camera that this 8 doesn't have. I even would include the in-camera focus stacking because I don't think I'd use it that much. I don't use the focus bracketing very much. Though I did experiment with it last month. I just realized I've talked right through the end of the hour. So I am going to, I'll finish answering these comments and questions, but if you have to get back to work, I do apologize for running over. Yeah, let me know what you want to talk about, and remember, I'm still waiting for comments about the live streams in general. More, less, different times. You tell me what you want, and I will adapt to meet that. So if you're going, goodbye. Thank you for coming. If you want your question answered, stick around a few more minutes. Ulrich Nordhoff says, I changed to Canon 8 years ago because of the MPE 65. A friend of mine just called today to say he had found an MPE 65 on sale for $500 in good shape. He wanted to know if he should get it. I said, absolutely get it. They're going to get very scarce one of these days since they've stopped making them, and it is a very interesting lens. So that would be a good reason to switch for a lens. If I wasn't a Nikon person and I had the Nikon 200mm f4 macro lens, I would switch to Nikon for that lens. That's the sharpest macro lens in the world. October, then we can shoot flowers all summer. Yep, all summer, 6 weeks. And you haven't even bought Norway. You'd think a place that had as much summer as 6 weeks would want a pin in their country. Think about it for next week. Lance, fall in October would be awesome. Michael, I have a Z50 up for grabs. Oh, for grab and go. I thought you were selling it. The Z50, I looked at that. Nice camera, but a little bit small for me. Yeah, it's very capable though. I looked at that as using it as my video camera. But yeah, never did get it. Susan, traded in an F4. Oh dear. the F4 200 is such a... I also traded mine in, and it was the worst mistake I ever made. Yeah, I don't even want to think about it. Let me see. So Toluca, you use a Lumix, a G85. Do you like it? or are you thinking about switching? I know several people with that camera, and they swear by it. It's apparently a very, very good video camera. Let me see. I think we're about at the end here. Batteries, yeah, they go through a lot of batteries. These, you just have to take that into account. Though the spec said this camera would get 300 frames on one battery charge. I got something like 700 on half a battery charge. So it depends how you use it. Turn it off in between shots. Save a lot of power. Crispy B internal stacking is nice, but with Zerine or Helicon, you have much more options. Yes, no doubt. If you're doing that, if that's putting food on the table, you're stacking, you probably need to use a professional stacking program. Okay, you want to upgrade to the G9? Yeah. That's like with my jet. I'm probably going to upgrade to a G5 Gulfstream. So there you go. or not. Guys, thank you for coming. I'm sorry I ran over today. I just had too much to say. I'll be back on Tuesday. We're going to talk about the lens, the 105 on Tuesday, and all kinds of other things. Then on Thursday, we'll be back at 2 o'clock to talk about the R1C1 and how it compares to the MF12 by Godox. So thank you for coming. Thank you for everybody who super chatted me. Thank you for everybody who asked questions. Get in touch. Let me know what you want me to do differently. Allan Walls Photography. That's contact at Allan Walls Photography, and put live stream in the subject heading. Thanks for coming. Have a good day. Stay safe. Next time.